She was a girl with nothing, facing a world of uncertainty. But she had a dream that would defy gravity and rewrite history.
Very few people have had as much impact as Simone Ariane Biles Owens in gymnastics. Simone Biles, with her story of determination, talent, and incredible achievements, has captivated audiences with her awe-inspiring performances and is a household name in the world of sports. Simone captivated the audience with each routine, leaving them in awe of her incredible abilities.
Simone Biles continues to prove why she's the GOAT. After leading the U.S. women's gymnastics squad to gold at the 2024 Olympics in the team all-around, Simone takes home gold during the individual all-around competition.
Her skills and moves are incredible, and she has worked tirelessly to become one of the greatest gymnasts ever. Simone's achievements, including multiple Olympic gold medals and numerous world championship titles, have completely transformed the world of gymnastics. But is her personal life as perfect as her career? Join us as we reveal the shocking family tragedy that changed everything for Simone Biles. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Simone Biles was born in Columbus, Ohio, on March 14, 1997.
Born on March 14, 1997 in Columbus, Ohio, Biles' journey to becoming one of the greatest gymnasts of all time is a testament to the power of resilience, hard work, and the human spirit.
She came from humble beginnings with dreams as big as the sky. Little did she know her journey would take her to stardom. It wasn't easy for her, you see. Her mother, Shannon, was a woman who faced the problematic battle of drug and alcohol addiction. Unfortunately, her addiction prevented her from being able to care for her 4 children. As a result, Biles and her siblings had to be placed in foster care. For 3 long years, Simone found herself navigating the ups and downs of foster care. Her 2 other siblings, Tevin and Ashley, were adopted by their great-aunt and grew up in the vibrant city of Cleveland, Ohio. Simone and her younger sister, Adria, were fortunate enough to be adopted by their loving grandparents, Ron and Nellie Biles.
So let's talk about the interesting thing. You know, all the backstory of your life came out during the Olympics and all the lead up, and your grandparents, Nellie and Ron, are your parents, and they became your parents when you were 6 years old.
And they were moved to Spring, Texas, where her grandparents lived. The best part is yet to come. Stay tuned. Simone's journey to Spring, Texas, a place that embraced her with open arms and provided the nurturing atmosphere she needed to flourish and pursue her aspirations. When Simone was just a wide-eyed 6-year-old, during a regular daycare trip to Bannon's Gymnastics in Houston, Texas, she stumbled upon her true passion, gymnastics. As she gazed at the gymnasts, she couldn't help but be captivated by their graceful movements. Intrigued, she decided to try it herself, attempting to mimic their impressive flips and twists. So get this. The coaches noticed her and sent her a letter asking if she could join their classes. Can you believe it? From the moment her grandfather signed her up, she was hooked. It was as if the sport had cast a spell on her, capturing her heart and igniting a passion. Simone was no stranger to hard work, even from a young age. When she was 8, she started training with coach Amy Borman. She switched to homeschooling to focus more on her career and spent up to 30 hours a week in the gym. Can you imagine the dedication and hard work she must have put in at such a young age? All that hard work and dedication paid off for her.
We do move on now to our other top headlines and a record day at the Paris Olympics for 2 of America's biggest stars. Gymnast Simone Biles.
Young Simone Biles started her elite gymnastics career at age 14 when she stepped onto the gymnastics stage on July 1st at the American Classic in Houston. Little did anyone know this would begin an extraordinary journey for Biles in elite gymnastics. She confidently stepped onto the vault and balance beam, and guess what? She placed 3rd all around, 1st on vault and balance beam, 4th on floor exercise, and 8th on uneven bars. It was the start of something extraordinary as she started racking up those wins in junior competitions like nobody's business.
I've been covering Simone Biles for 11 years, and it is one of the more remarkable stories I've covered in my career. She is a better gymnast now at 27 than she was in 2016 at 19 years old, and that is remarkable.
Back in 2013, something unique happened. Simone made the leap from junior to senior competitions, and that's when her star truly began to shine. It was a turning point in her career, and the world noticed her incredible talent. She also won her first U.S. National Gymnastics Championship in 2013. It was quite a sight to see. She won the all-around title.
Simone Biles has won her 6th Olympic gold medal by winning the women's all-around gymnastics final,
beating out many experienced gymnasts. With this incredible win, she secured her spot on the US national team and paved the way for her debut on the international stage. Her first World Championship was in Antwerp, Belgium, and it was a moment that would go down in history. She did well, qualifying first in the all-around and floor events and making it to the finals for vault, uneven bars, and balance beam.
Now to Simone Biles, and any doubt that she is the greatest gymnast of all time, well, that was put to rest. Biles is now the winner of more medals at the World Championships than anyone ever.
Biles won the all-around with a score of 60.216, which was better than the second and third place gymnasts. At 16, she became the first African-American and the 7th American woman to win the world all-around title. In the finals, Simone won a silver medal on the vault, a bronze on the balance beam, and a gold on the floor exercise. She came in 4th on the uneven bars. In the 2016 Rio Olympics, Simone truly stole the show. At the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics, Simone Biles won 4 gold medals in gymnastics. She took gold in the team event, the all-around, the vault, and the floor exercise.
Back now from Rio, where the Final Five, as they're being called, took center stage today. The U.S. women's gymnastics team, led by the young woman who's been widely called the greatest of all time, Simone Biles.
She also won a bronze medal on the balance beam. Biles set a record for the most gold medals won by an American gymnast in a single Olympics and became the first female gymnast to win both the individual all-around and team gold at the same Olympics. She was honored to be the flag bearer for Team USA at the closing ceremonies. In 2019, Simone Biles had a fantastic year. She finished first at the Stuttgart World Cup, beating the second-place gymnast by 3,668 points. She won the all-around at the GK US Classic and came in first for floor exercise and vault. She placed third on balance beam and 5th on uneven bars. At the US National Championships, Biles won first place in the all-around with a score of 118.500. She made new impressive moves, like a triple twisting flip on floor exercise and a unique dismount on the balance beam. She also won first place in vault, balance beam, and floor exercise, and third on uneven bars.
Simone Biles has done what no other gymnast has done before. The 22-year-old flipped and twisted her way to 2 more gold medals at the World Championships in Germany.
At the World Championships, Biles helped her team win gold. She also won gold in the individual all-around with a score of 58.999 vault, with an average score of 15.966, balance beam with a score of 15.066, and floor exercise with a score of 15.133. With these wins, she set a record for the most World Championship medals with 24.
Today, some great news as the U.S. women won their 5th straight World Gymnastics Championship. Simone Biles.
Simone has been honored with numerous awards throughout her illustrious career. In 2019, she was honored with the prestigious AP Female Athlete of the Year title. She has also been recognized multiple times with the esteemed Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year award. Quite the impressive accolades, do you agree? Not only is she an incredible gymnast, but she also serves as a role model and passionately speaks out about mental health and athlete safety.
As we've seen during the pandemic and in recent years, more people are speaking out and being open about their mental health struggles. That includes Olympic gymnast Simone Biles. She was vocal about her mental health.
Fast forward to 2024. In 2024, Simone Biles had an impressive year. She received her 4th Laureus World Sports Award for Comeback of the Year in April and was named Best Comeback Athlete at the ESPI Awards in July. Despite her continuous wins, it wasn't all easy going for Simone Biles, as 2021 marked a series of unfortunate events that would change her life forever. A series of unfortunate events. After her outstanding performance in the 2016 Rio Olympics, where she brought home 4 gold medals, the world had high hopes for her. In February 2020, a big announcement was made that Simone Biles, the incredible gymnast, was selected to represent the United States at the Tokyo Olympics on April 4, 2020. But here's the thing. In March 2020, USA Gymnastics dropped a bombshell. They made it crystal clear that Biles couldn't make it to the event because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They were worried sick about the situation, not just in the good old USA, but all around the globe, including Japan. The next day, the Japanese Gymnastics Association cancelled the event, so the Tokyo Olympics was moved to the following year, 2021. In 2021, folks looked forward to seeing what Simone Biles could do at the Olympics.
Simone Biles has won yet another gold medal for Team USA Women's Gymnastics.
They hoped she would match her past accomplishments and maybe even outdo herself. But let me tell you, the team competition, oh boy, did things take an unexpected turn. Simone Biles, the fearless gymnast, was executing an Amina vault. The crowd held their breath as she soared through the air, preparing for a jaw-dropping display of athleticism. But as fate would have it, something unexpected happened. Instead of the planned 2.5 twists, Biles only managed 1.5 twists. The audience gasped in disbelief as she fought to maintain her balance upon landing, narrowly avoiding a disastrous fall. Right off the bat, this unexpected mistake had everyone worried about how she was doing. And then, out of the blue, Biles decided to step back from the team finals.
What I find so weird about this, and it reflects more on the media than it does on Simone Biles, is that we've tried to turn a very tragic moment, Simone Biles quitting the Olympic team.
USA Gymnastics at first simply mentioned a medical issue as the cause. As the story unfolded, it became evident that the problem at hand was not a mere physical injury, but rather a matter concerning her mental well-being.
Simone Biles has pulled out of another event at the Tokyo Olympics.
USA Gymnastics announced she is withdrawn from the individual all-around competition in order to focus on her mental health.
In the following days, Biles decided to step back from the uneven bars, vault, and floor exercise competitions. These were events where she had always been a force to be reckoned with. But guess what? Against all odds, she boldly decided to go for it and compete in the balance beam final. She decided to switch up her routine to make it safer. So she went out there and did her thing, but with a little twist. Instead of her usual full twisting double back tuck, she went for a double back pike. Talk about a daring move. Her performance was incredible. She gave it her all and ended up earning a bronze medal. But here's the thing. This bronze medal meant so much more to her than her previous golds. Why, you ask? It's because she had to overcome some serious challenges along the way. It shows that sometimes the journey is what makes the victory so sweet. When Biles decided to withdraw, it ignited a widespread conversation about mental health, particularly concerning elite athletes.
Simone Biles made history once again by winning the all-around gold, while Suni Lee took home the bronze.
Her choice to prioritize her well-being garnered both praise and criticism from others. The specific challenge Biles encountered was the twisties, a fascinating psychological phenomenon affecting gymnasts. You see, they can suddenly lose their sense of spatial awareness during complex moves. This can increase the risk of injury. Unfortunately, not many people outside the gymnastics community grasped the full extent of this condition. However, Biles and others who had gone through it emphasized its seriousness.
Simone Biles isn't letting an injury stop her from making a triumphant Olympic return.
It wasn't just the challenges she faced on the competition floor that made her journey remarkable. No, there was something else, something deeply personal that she had to deal with. During all the chaos and tension of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Biles shared the heartbreaking news that her aunt had tragically passed away. It was a tough time for her. The added emotional strain only made things worse, especially with the twisties and her overall mental health. Biles chose to keep her aunt's death private, and even though she encountered numerous obstacles, she refused to let them dampen her spirits. After Tokyo, what next for Simone Biles? After the Tokyo incident, Simone Biles took a break for 2 years to focus on taking care of her mental health.
Superstar in the world of gymnastics, and she decided midway through her team competition to step away, to take time out.
It was late June 2023 when the news broke that Simone Biles, the legendary gymnast, was returning to competition at the US Classic. The event was set to take place on August 5th in the vibrant city of Chicago. Excitement filled the air as fans eagerly anticipated her comeback. When Simone got to the stage, she didn't hold back. She went out there and competed in all 4 events, giving it her all. And guess what? She scored an impressive all-around total of 59.100. That's not all, though.
Another day, another Olympic gold medal for Simone Biles in gymnastics. She has won the women's vault in Paris, her 3rd gold medal.
She finished a whopping 5 points ahead of the runner-up, Leanne Wong. Talk about a dominant performance. Guess what? Biles rocked it on the balance beam and floor exercise, taking first place in both events. She didn't even bother trying a second vault. But you know what? She went ahead and nailed a Yurchenko double pike. This incredible performance earned her a spot in the highly coveted 2023 US National Championships. At the National Championships, Biles, the incredible gymnast, claimed her 8th national all-around title, leaving Shileza Jones and Leanne Wong in her wake. Not only did she come in first on the balance beam and floor exercise, but she also snagged 3rd place on the uneven bars. And just like that, she shattered Al Joachim's long-standing record of 7 national titles, a feat that had remained untouched since 1933. But that's not all. She also claimed the title of the oldest woman to win this prestigious championship at 26. Quite the achievement, wouldn't you say? In September, Biles found herself at the US Women's Selection Camp for the 2023 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships and the Pan American Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Katy, Texas.
Now on to the Olympics, where the women's gymnastics team is back atop the podium and also on top of the world.
What a win. Even with a couple of falls, she came out on top on the first day of competition. She scored an impressive 55.700 overall, securing her spot on the US Worlds team and leaving everyone in awe. With her incredible talent and skill, Biles managed to secure the top spot in the all-around final. Can you believe it? She scored 58.932, leaving her teammate Shileza Jones nearly 2 points behind. It was a breathtaking performance that showcased Biles' unrivaled abilities. She made it to the final in every event except the uneven bars, where she ended up in 5th place. Out of all the competitors, she was the only one who qualified for every event final. Talk about talent and determination. It's like she was on a whole other level. Incredible. As Biles geared up for the 2024 Paris Olympics, she took the valuable lessons learned from Tokyo. Her goal is to balance her mental well-being and the intense demands of being a top-tier gymnast. She started the season by winning the all-around at the Core Hydration Classic.
Well, Team USA's golden girl is golden once again. The GOAT, Simone Biles, winning the gold medal in the women's all-around today, beating out Brazil's Rebecca Andrade by just over 1 point.
Securing her 7th US Classic all-around title. At the US Gymnastics Championships, she won gold in all events and became the first gymnast to win 9 all-around titles, with the highest all-around score of 60.450 in this Olympic cycle. At the Olympic trials, Biles placed first in the all-around, first on floor exercise and second on uneven bars despite a fall on the balance beam. She was selected for the 2024 Paris Olympics and led Team USA to a gold medal in the team event. Biles also won the individual all-around title, becoming the first woman since Vera Kozłowska to win 2 Olympic gold medals in the all-around. Today, Biles is the most decorated gymnast in history and has won 106 medals as of August 1, 2024. This includes 9 Olympic medals, 6 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze, and 30 World Championships medals, 23 gold, 4 silver, 3 bronze. What do you think about Simone Biles and her achievements so far? Do you think she handled herself well, despite her mental health challenges and her aunt's demise?
Another Olympic gold medal for Simone Biles in gymnastics. She has won the women's vault in Paris, her 3rd gold medal.
Gymnastics is an intense sport that strongly demands perfection, precision, dedication, and discipline. Loved by over 3 billion people across the world, the reality of the game is what many who enjoy it are unaware of. Because behind the scenes, there is more to the sport than what is revealed in the spotlight. There are complex rules that gymnasts must navigate and a bizarre web of rules that govern every single twist, turn, and leap of their performance.
This is 12 News Now. I'm Paige Messier. Team USA earned another gold medal after the women's gymnastics team came out on top.
These shocking rules are so extreme that they are in no way easy to follow. But what is it about these rules that are so difficult and strange? Join us as we reveal the 10 strict rules gymnasts are forced to follow and how the difficulty level of these rules is out of the world. First on the list are illegal routines. 10. Gymnasts must not display deadly moves. Gymnastics is more than a game of sorts where athletes twist, leap, and fold as inhumanely as possible, defying even the laws of physics itself.
Well, there's been some exciting action in gymnastics today as well, and for that we can cross now to Selena Sykes, who's standing by for us at Bercy Arena.
On the surface, it does appear like competitors can train themselves to achieve impossible feats and freely come up with the most shocking coordination ever made in history.
Now to the drama at the Summer Games in Paris. Gymnast Simone Biles capping her Olympic comeback.
But surprisingly, this doesn't seem to be the case, as certain moves in gymnastics have been stamped illegal and strictly banned. The reason for this is even more startling. and performing one of these illegal moves during a routine can mean big trouble for a gymnast's entire career. This is because these moves are considered to be very dangerous, and competitors are demanded to stay away from them. A terrifying incident happened with moves like the Thomas Salto, which left Elena Mukhina quadriplegic when she landed on her chin before the Moscow Olympics in 1980.
It happened very simply. Everything had led up to it. I wasn't physically or emotionally ready. My injury could have been expected. It was an accident that could have been anticipated.
There is also the Korbut flip, which was performed many times by Olga Korbut, including at the 1972 Olympics.
At the 1972 Summer Olympics, a 17-year-old gymnast stood on top of the high bar, jumped up, did a backflip, and then grabbed the bar while continuing into a swing. A few years later, this technique would then be banned from competition.
One other is the Prodonova, an extreme move once attempted by Olympic gymnast Deepa Karmakar in 2016. What these illegal stunts have in common is that they are so terrifying that only a handful of athletes have ever attempted them with their bones in place. One wrong move and one could die on the spot. The ridiculous thing about this rule, however, is that you might not even live to get an official penalty. Following this rule is the absurd resting elegant face, aka always look like you are in control, even if your ankle turns the wrong way or when you feel a really bad itch. 9. False mask of composure. Have you ever wondered how gymnasts manage to look so serene, even when their bodies are twisted into seemingly impossible shapes? The truth is that their training requires them to completely conceal any signs of discomfort. This strict rule has enforced into gymnasts an indifference to distress, adapting them to maintaining an unnatural level of composure to perfect their routines. Even when tackling incredibly difficult routines or when injured, Olympic-worthy players must hide their pain to avoid penalties and make sure that they look like they're in control at all times.
After the gymnast fell during warm-ups at the all-around team finals for the 2024 Paris Olympics, she continues to compete in the July 30th competition with a black eye.
If they make a mistake, no matter how devastating the cause, they're not supposed to react to it, else it will affect the scoring. USA Gymnastics states it requires beauty, strength, power, and stamina to continue at peak performance throughout a gymnastics exercise. And that's why the athletes must maintain energy and excellence.
The United States had a lot of catching up to do over the weekend in the gold medal department at the Olympics, and it delivered. 5 gold medals were won by Team USA,
which can be challenging because of the demanding content in the exercise. While it's a necessary skill, it isn't one that all competitors can achieve. There are plenty of gymnasts who try hard skills and look as if they're inches away from death while doing them. Imagine coming so far in the Olympics only to be dropped out for showing an unflattering, painful, or disappeared expression. Number 8 gets even more strict, and it's for the strangest reasons. Number 8, keep your routine secret. Unlike any other sports routine, the secrecy surrounding gymnasts' routines is so intense that they're not even allowed to whisper their choreography to themselves in the shower.
Back at the beginning of this, we saw a little bit of your floor routine, and you have a gymnastics move named after you now, the Biles.
This sounds ridiculous, right? Imagine being tasked with hiding your moves like they are top secret government intel. This rule is so strict that if they so much as hum a few bars of their floor exercise music in their sleep, they risk being disqualified. The International Gymnastics Federation, the worldwide governing body for the sport of gymnastics, addresses the tight-lipped nature of training in the FIG Code of Conduct, which all gymnasts are meant to follow. It states that competitors are expected to respect the confidentiality of information between athletes and coaches. All this secrecy just to prevent their rivals from stealing their signature moves. But rumors say that in reality, it's probably just to prevent the judges from falling asleep during the 12th consecutive rendition of Swan Lake. A gymnast's routine needs to impress the judges if the athlete wants to walk away with a medal, especially at the Olympic level.
Simone Biles made history once again by winning the all-around gold, while Suni Lee took home the bronze.
And that won't happen if the experts handing out points already know what's about to happen. Not to mention the fact that it would be disastrous if another competitor stole a few key moves. Those who break their silence not only risk losing a competition, but they're also breaking an established rule. As we dive deeper into the cutthroat world of gymnastics, we come across stricter rules almost impossible to adhere to yet risky to break, and that is it for our next on the list. 7. Underwear must be out of sight. Guess routines aren't the only secrets. Apparently, gymnasts' undergarments should be hidden away too. In a leotard with a narrow pant line and the curse of wardrobe malfunction, this rule is sure confident.
For the very first time in history, the Team USA women's gymnastics leotards are being unveiled prior to Olympic competition.
Even though gymnasts wear fitting leotards while competing, their undergarments, including underwear and bra straps, can't be seen, not even if it's an accidental slip. USA Gymnastics guidelines state that it's inappropriate to display bikini lines, plunging necklines, lingerie, or underwear. Cosmopolitan notes that the gymnasts get custom bras and briefs to wear underneath their leotards, which are essential because exposed underwear can result in a deduction at competitions like the Olympics. The reality of gymnastics is that much of the sport is about appearances. Judges may be looking for technical achievements, but they will also be considering more subjective things like the elegance of a routine and a dress code violation. Leotards are designed to prevent unfortunate incidents, but they are not all around perfect. Chief Design Officer Kelly McCown of GK Elite, responsible for making Team USA's Olympic outfits, told Cosmo that it takes 2 years to create leotards that can handle the demands put on the fabric during intense routines. The rule of invisible underwear is hard to maintain because, despite all of the effort to keep things in place, most gymnasts have simply chosen to ditch their underwear so that they don't risk losing points over the mere fact that their panties are peeking out. The next rule on our strict list is number 6. 6. Do not fix a wedgie. If you thought getting disqualified over underwear is absurd, you might have to think again. Imagine the discomforting feeling of having your clothes stuck tight between your bottom cheeks. Heaven hath no fury like the desperation to get it out. The situation feels like an emergency not just because it's discomforting but also embarrassing. But unfortunately for Olympic gymnasts, they can't fix their wedgies if one happens to occur. This is another time when the perfectly designed leotards are helpful. Each leotard is custom-made to fit the athlete's body, which prevents it from shifting, sometimes inappropriately exposing body parts when the gymnasts perform their body-manipulating moves. This is very important as gymnasts are not allowed to pick a wedgie or even touch their clothes, otherwise they get their points deducted. Even if you fall and the leotard shifts up your butt, you definitely cannot fix it in the middle of your routine. To keep their leotard in place, a lot of athletes use sticky spray on their butt so the outfit latches onto their body. They also have to ensure their leotard fits perfectly like a second skin. However, this doesn't fully compensate for the simplicity of being able to make adjustments with their own hands. So the next time you get an inconvenient wedgie, imagine what it must be like to experience one while competing for an Olympic medal.
Has won yet another gold medal for Team USA women's gymnastics.
For people who are not allowed to touch their clothes, the next rule is surely unfair. 5. Olympic gymnasts have to stick to specific grooming. There's a reason why Olympic gymnasts always look cleanly set when they're competing. According to Vogue, the official USA Gymnastics rulebook deems that women gymnasts must be well groomed in appearance. Vogue explains that spectators see a parade of tight braids, buns, and ponytails, and this is because gymnasts' hair has to be pulled away from the face, lest it obstruct views of an apparatus necessary for spotting precarious landings. Gymnasts are also demanded to wear little to no makeup, and for adornments such as jewelry, competitors are only allowed to wear a single pair of stud earrings and nothing else. For what reason, you might ask? Believe it or not, it is just because they can't. While pulling the hair back is reasonable, the same can't be said of this one. When it comes to things like nails, it also depends on what your head coach likes and what they don't like. A subtle color for a nail polish is usually accepted, and the reason why otherwise cannot be done remains a mystery. As if following very detailed grooming rules isn't enough, gymnasts surprisingly have no choice when it comes to their outfits too. 4. Controversial appearance regulations. For their outfit, gymnasts' leotards have to be approved before it is worn, and the process is almost as tedious as their routines. It starts with as many complicated fittings as a pricey wedding dress, and kid you not, those skimpy leotards are indeed as expensive as wedding dresses. At least when you add up all the pieces in a gymnast's professional wardrobe. Each US team member gets 12 practice leotards worth up to $200 each, and 8 competition quality ones which typically clock in at $700 to $1,200 each. However, the 2024 US team's look would reportedly retail for $3,000 to $5,000 each.
The U.S. gymnastics team fighting for gold in 8 custom-made leotards, sparkling with 47,000 Swarovski crystals. The dazzling costumes aren't for sale, but would retail for about $3,000 each.
An unsurprising amount when you note the thousands of crystals and hundreds of pearls on these leotards. Olympic gymnasts reportedly go through about 3 fittings for a custom leotard, and in the end, the final decision is what the coach likes and not their choice. According to Nastya Lukin to People, before every competition they have some sort of a little fashion show before all their coaches, trying on the same leotard and marching down the hallways as if it's a runway. This way, the coaches figure out which leotard the team is going to wear. However, appearance regulations go further, to the point where some have alleged that these rules should be more rightfully considered as puritanical attempts to control women's bodies than attempts to keep a sport safe or even just vaguely decorous. But no matter how petty the rules get, gymnasts would follow in order not to lose a point. It goes to the extent that what they eat is also controlled. 3. You cannot eat what you want. Olympic gymnasts follow specific diet guidelines. Along with putting in plenty of practice to keep their bodies in tip-top shape, Olympic gymnasts also have to watch what they put inside of their bodies, whether it's food, drinks, or other substances. They adhere to complex rules that involve a strict diet that states what they can eat, what they cannot, and even how much they can consume. On the bright side, this helps to keep them fit, but on the other hand, it has its disadvantages. In fact, modern gymnasts are keenly aware of the dark past of the sport, in which athletes under pressure to achieve a certain weight and performance level develop harmful and sometimes deadly eating disorders. Hopefully, many now recognize that, at least in some cases, rules go too far. According to the International Gymnastics Federation, athletes must also strictly stay away from performance-enhancing drugs and abstain from the use of alcohol, as well as illegal substances. During competitions, getting tested positive for any of them before a routine leads to immediate disqualification. Moving on is a rule that comes with an expensive price tag. 2. Challenging a ruling comes with a hefty price. In gymnastics, if a gymnast disagrees with the score given to them, they can submit an appeal. However, the problem is that it ends up costing quite a sum of money and a series of tiring processes that athletes give up on rectifying impartialities altogether. If a competitor wants to challenge a score, their coach must first head to the judges' table before the next routine starts to verbally state their objection. They then need to submit the appeal in writing within 4 minutes along with a sum of $300. To challenge a second score during the same event costs $500, and a third challenge costs $1,000. While this rule is discouraging, the good news is that if they win the appeal, they get the money back. However, if they happen to lose the challenge, they also lose the money to the Gymnastic Federation. The general idea of this strict and maybe absurd rule is to cut back on unnecessary challenges, which can slow down competition and make the whole affair look unprofessional. At the end of the top gymnastics strict rule is number 10. Prepare to have your mind blown, because this rule tops it all. 1. Doing the extraordinary is discouraged by official rulings. This rule typically abolishes gymnasts from being too excellent. The irony: gymnastics is a sport that embodies human excellence, but yet rules there actually discourage excellence. It's like the sport is saying, be great, but not too great. Official rulings have imposed limits on skill difficulty, routine composition, and even scoring systems, effectively capping the ceiling of achievement. This stifles innovation and progress, forcing athletes to prioritize conformity over creativity and risk-taking. For instance, Simone Biles has attempted moves so heinously difficult that some adjudicators have felt the need to underscore her work. Take her August 2019 performance in the US National Championships, where she completed not one, but 2 incredibly complicated moves.
Paris Olympics, she was bidding for a record 5 gold medals, gymnastics legend Simone Biles.
The first, now known as the Biles II, garnered a difficulty rating of J, currently the highest rating. Yet it came as a surprise that another move, known as the Biles, was given a difficulty of H. The justification, according to FIG officials, was that giving it a more valuable difficulty score could encourage less able gymnasts to attempt the move and risk serious injury. But critics have wondered if this is really meant to keep other gymnasts safe, or if it's a sort of sour grapes reaction to ultra-talented athletes like Biles. However, despite having to work under extreme conditions and strict rules, it is applaudable and worth an accolade that these athletes continue striving to be victorious.
At 27, Biles is even better than she was a decade ago, leading a paradigm shift in the sport of gymnastics.
Ever since she got into the game, American gymnast Simone Biles has been on the highest pedestal of the gymnastics world. From time to time, she has proven that she has what it takes by breaking several unbreakable records in the sports.
Paris Olympics, she was bidding for a record 5 gold medals. Gymnastics legend Simone Biles will have to settle for 3 at these games.
However, this time she decided to take things to the next level, wanting to attempt a vault, which had never been attempted in the history of women's gymnastics. In the blink of an eye, a flip would have proven disastrous for the gymnast. However, thanks to the spotter's immediate intervention, she was saved. How did that happen, and how difficult the vault that Simone Biles decided to attempt was? Join us as we take you through the journey of the professional American gymnast Simone Biles. Simone Biles breaks the world record. When we talk about sports, gymnastics is probably one of the most dangerous, having athletes throw themselves into the air with a breathtaking mix of power and precision, doing routines that demand mental fortitude and require high stakes of agility, balance, and strength, sure is a sight to behold.
The United States had a lot of catching up to do over the weekend in the gold medal department at the Olympics, and it delivered.
However, it comes with a high stake in which the least margin of error could immediately turn fatal in a matter of seconds. Despite the risks of the sport, many have taken it upon themselves to stand at the very top to beat the odds. Such is in the case of the American gymnast Simone Biles. Simone Biles is a female gymnast who you would call an acrobat extraordinaire. No doubt she is strong, she is fast, she is agile and completely cut out for the job. When it comes to the sport, she has consecutively proven time without number that she has rid herself of any fear attached to the sports. However, what happened in Antwerp, Belgium in 2023 proved that even the best gymnasts need more than a brave heart. They need a hand.
And not the day that Simone Biles would have hoped for in the French capital. She's missed out on a 4th gold medal of the Games after finishing 2nd in the floor final.
Apparently, in a bid to perform one of the most difficult vaults in women's gymnastics, it appeared as if Biles was on the ropes. It took the help of her spotter to get things right. If not, no one knew what would have happened. Let's take things back a notch. What could have possibly put Simone Biles in that dilemma? Well, she was performing the Yurchenko double pike. If you so happen to be a gymnastics enthusiast, you should know how much of a big deal this is. As a matter of fact, the word Yurchenko refers to the vault's entry.
Another day, another Olympic gold medal for Simone Biles in gymnastics. She has won the women's vault in Paris, her 3rd gold medal.
The vault was started by a world champion for the Soviet Union, Natalia Yurchenko, in the 1980s. It basically features a round off onto the springboard and a back handspring onto the vault. However, it isn't necessarily as basic as it sounds. To tell you just how complicated this is, in the history of gymnasts, Natalia Yurchenko is the only female to have ever performed this vault.
9.75 for her.
Metric bars, Natalia Yurchenko has had a very good start, about to begin her bar routine.
That aside, we have had men like David Sender, Great Britain's Christian Thomas, China's Yang Wei, Greece's Ioannis Melissanidis, Nguyen Ha Thana of Vietnam, and even Tikhonov of Azerbaijan do their version of this particular vault. Yang Wei, who performed the vault at the 2002 World Championships, had the vault later named after him by the International Gymnastics Federation.
It came as no surprise that Chinese gymnast Yang Wei took home the gold in his home country.
Although currently his name is not linked to it in the current code of points. On the other hand, Christian Thomas had to perform in the 2012 London Olympic team final in front of the royals, Prince William and Prince Harry. In the history of the sport, these men proved that they had what it takes. This was until Simone Biles stepped into the playing field. In 2019, she became the first woman to land a triple-double in a floor routine. Still, that very same year, she debuted a double-twisting double backflip beam dismount. Just because she was the first to perform these stunts, they were later on named after her. Pretty cool, right? As if to prove that all of that was way too easy, in 2021, she broke the record of the first woman to perform the Yurchenko double pike at the GK US Classic.
Simone Biles cemented herself as the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. She now has 8 Olympic medals. That breaks a tie.
This is a feat that no other woman athlete has ever dreamed of attempting. You can say what truly makes the Yurchenko double pike is the second flip. A regular Yurchenko pike features just 1 flip, but a double pike Yurchenko features 2.5 flips. Truly, it doesn't sound like there is much difference in the number of flips. However, you should know performing the latter is totally insane. To perform a Yurchenko double pike, you need to possess immense power to be able to launch very high off the table with your hands. If by some chance you aren't able to launch high enough and finish the second flip,
Simone Biles. The 27-year-old becomes the most decorated U.S. Olympic gymnast in history after winning her 8th medal and her 5th gold during the women's all-around gymnastics final.
there is every tendency that the whole thing could become catastrophic, and in all honesty, it would have been for the gymnastic star at a time if not for the intervention of her spotter. How did things play out for the world-renowned gymnast? Sit back as we take you through the gymnastics floor, where the toughest routines are being performed. The Save by Simone Biles' spotter. Talking about the time when Simone Biles' spotter intervened on her behalf, it all happened in the qualifying round at the World Championships. That was precisely the time when she became the first woman to land the vault in a major international competition. Apparently, Laurent Landy, who happened to be her coach, was taking on the role of a spotter. If you are not aware of this, you might wonder if that is a good thing. Well, it is completely okay and safe even for gymnasts to have a spotter when they perform their flips. However, that is only allowed in training sessions and non-international competitions, not in big events such as the qualifying stage of the World Championship. It's true that in a competition as big as the World Champions, the judges wouldn't have spotters being removed. Still, it doesn't stop them from heavily penalizing the contestants who are to perform the routines and stunts. After all, the belief is that for you to come on a stage to perform any kind of flip, no matter how daring, you must be confident and willing to stake it all. And so, having a spotter around when performing tends to ruin the sense of proper sportsmanship, at least from the judge's point of view. However, let's take a moment to look at things from Landy's point of view. Simone Biles was performing the most difficult vault in women's gymnastics for the very first time in an international competition, a vault that only very few women would attempt. The man probably weighed in on the several probabilities of something going wrong and saw the need to be present when she performed the risky vault. If we are to consider the decision carefully, it was more of a decision by the coach than it was of Biles. And yes, he was willing to let go of a few points all season just to prioritize the safety of the professional gymnast. As a matter of fact, for each Yurchenko double pike with her spotter in close proximity, the judges would always deduct half a point. This continued all through the competition for each time her spotter was present. It might surprise you to know that all through the World Championship in Antwerp, Landy didn't touch Biles even once to render assistance.
Simone Biles, the four-time Olympic gold medalist, she's been in action tonight trying to lead the USA team to victory in the women's event.
But still, both he and Biles were okay with the idea of having him stand on the landing mat when Biles performed the Yurchenko double pike. Can we say it was a waste of points then? Not really. Evidently, there have been several occasions when spotters came to the rescue of gymnasts in the sports. When you really consider the state of things, spotters are always posing as guardian angels who get not just to encourage professionals, but to render a sort of mental awareness to the performers, as if to tell them that no matter what happens, they got them covered. Think of it more as a confidence boost, one similar to that of a mother throwing up a child only to catch the child once more.
Well, the U.S. continues to shine at the 2024 Paris Olympics.
The same can almost be said for the relationship between Simone Biles and her spotter, Laurent Landy. Apparently, right before Biles came under Laurent Landy, she was training under coach Amy Borman in 2006 for the Olympics. However, she had already attempted the double flip Yurchenko before then. For her, at the time, performing the Yurchenko double flip was more of a thing of fun, as she had the foam pit around to perform daring stunts. It was as she prepared for the Tokyo Olympics with Cécile and Laurent Landy that she got serious with the vault, hoping to polish her other Yurchenko styles. By February 2020, Biles posted a video of herself performing a Yurchenko double pike into a pit, and then months later, she realized she could go for a solid mat. That was when she started to practice the vault with Landy on a solid mat. If you must know, the training sessions Biles had with Landy were equally as risky, and there were a couple of times things could have ended badly for her. However, her spotter was always there to the rescue. You might wonder, how is it possible that a spotter could be of aid to someone spinning at a high speed in the air? Well, you should know that even spotting could pose as a profession in the gymnastics world. Generally, spotters are people who are dedicated, focused, and mentally aware of all the stunts that a gymnast is about to perform.
This is 12 News Now. I'm Paige Messier. Gymnast Simone Biles just won another gold medal, and this time in the all-around final.
Having properly studied the moves, they could tell when a gymnast was lacking in momentum and strength to perform a particular flip. And if, by some chance, that's the case, and things start to look bad for the gymnast, the spotters are present to break the fall or provide an extra push. Laurent Landy can be seen performing his role as a spotter majorly in Simone Biles' training sessions. There were times when he had to tap her lower back to provide extra momentum and lift so she didn't end up landing on her head. And still, there were times when he had to catch her mid-air so she wouldn't land, twisting her ankles or landing on her head. As a matter of fact, being Simone Biles' spotter and coach, Landy most likely saw her fail at the Yurchenko double pike more than he saw it work. Not minding the several attempts, he saw her through all along, ensuring her mastery of the most difficult vault that has now come to be named Biles 2, named after the American gymnast herself. This goes a long way to point out how the role of a spotter is quite crucial in the sport. In hopes that the gymnastics game will become much safer in the future, many have started to talk about the idea of having a spotter stand on the mat while the gymnasts perform.
They all wanted something more than they got in Tokyo. By winning the team gold here, by winning a second all-around title, one of only 3 women in history to do that, she's proven that she is the greatest gymnast.
People like Cecile Landy believe that it's unfair for the judges to allow a spotter for pack salto on bars, which is even less risky, half rotation, and disallow spotters for a double flipping vault. Expressing their concern, they presented the notion to the athlete's representative who attends technical committee meetings, hoping for a change. However, according to Donatella Sacchi, the president of the Women's Technical Committee, such change isn't currently possible as it does not abide by the rules of the Code of Points, which states no rule can be changed right before the Olympic Games. However, in the future, Donatella assured that there might be a safer measure put in place to ensure the safety of the gymnast.